Before diving into this incredible story, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell. Every story here has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. In a bustling city, between gleaming skyscrapers and humble alleys, lived Jamal, a 12-year-old black boy. An orphan, he knew life in all its harshness. Every day, he walked the streets, helping people for a few dollars, sometimes in exchange for a simple smile. Despite the difficulties, he always kept his dignity and curiosity intact. That day, the sun beat down hard on the asphalt. Jamal was playing near the market when a roar caught his attention. A black sedan had pulled up to the side of the road, its tires smoking. The driver, a dapper but visibly annoyed man, got out and inspected his flat tire. He sighed and banged on the steering wheel, frustrated by the inconvenience. Jamal approached tentatively, a mixture of curiosity and boldness in his eyes. "Do you need help?" he asked. The man looked him up and down, surprised and a little mocking. "What could a kid like you do?" he said, his voice betraying obvious impatience. Undaunted, Jamal calmly replied, "I can try, sir. I know how to change a tire." This simple exchange, imbued with audacity and honesty, marked the beginning of an encounter that would change the boy's life. That day, a flat tire became more than a mechanical problem, it became the gateway to an unexpected destiny. Jamal looked at the car carefully. The tire was completely flat, and the man seemed overwhelmed by the situation. Without waiting for an answer, he took out his small toolbox, which he always kept with him, a legacy of his days spent helping neighbors repair everything from bicycles to small lawnmower engines. "Leave it to me, sir. I know how to change a tire," he said calmly. The man, a millionaire in a hurry named Mr. Harrison, looked at him skeptically. His brow furrowed. "Are you sure you can do this? You're just a kid." Jamal wasn't intimidated. With impressive concentration, he began loosening the nuts. Each movement was precise, methodical. Passers-by stopped to watch this little boy working with astonishing calm. Some whispered, "Look at him, he really knows what he's doing." In a few minutes, the tire was removed. Jamal installed the spare tire and carefully secured it. Finally, he tightened each nut, double-checking each step. Harrison, who had expected mistakes or fumbling, was speechless. The boy had just silently realized what would have taken many adults much longer to accomplish. "There, it's done," Jamal said, standing up. His hands were covered in dust, but his eyes shone with pride. Harrison, initially irritated, felt a wave of admiration pass through him. You did this all by yourself?" he stammered. Jamal nodded. "Yes, sir. I like to learn and help." For the first time in his life, Harrison felt touched by a simple, selfless gesture. In this noisy, bustling neighborhood, amidst the passers-by and daily chaos, a little black boy had just shown that courage and competence have no age. Before leaving, Harrison handed Jamal a note. The boy politely declined. "I'm not doing this for the money, sir. I'm doing it to learn and to help." Harrison smiled, surprised and impressed by this rare honesty. He understood that this boy was not like the others. And so, through a simple act of kindness and skill, Jamal had just caught the attention of someone whose life and resources would change his forever. After watching Jamal work with surprising skill, Harrison decided to get to know the boy who had impressed him better. "You know, not many people would have done this at your age," he said, closing the door of his sedan. Jamal shrugged modestly. "I just want to learn and help." Harrison was struck by the simplicity and honesty of the answer. He wondered how many young people possessed this rare blend of courage and discipline. Curious, he suggested, "Come on, I'll treat you to a drink at the cafe next door. I want to know how you learned all this." Sitting at a small table on the patio, Jamal recounted his life with surprising candor. Orphaned for several years, he had learned to fend for himself in the neighborhood. He began helping neighbors for a few dollars and developed his mechanical skills by observing and practicing. Every challenge was a lesson for him, and every mistake was an opportunity to learn. Harrison listened intently, fascinated by the boy's maturity. It was rare to meet someone who could turn difficulties into learning rather than being defeated. "You have an impressive attitude, Jamal," Harrison said. "Most adults wouldn't have that patience and precision." Jamal smiled shyly, but a hint of pride crossed his eyes. For the first time, someone saw him not as a poor boy from the neighborhood, but as someone capable and promising. Harrison, thoughtful, continued, "I want to help you, if you want. There are ways for you to learn even more, to explore your talents." Jamal felt his heart beat faster. He had never imagined that a man like Harrison would be interested in him. But he remained calm. "Thank you, sir. I want to learn." That brief moment at the cafe sealed an unlikely bond. Harrison had just discovered in Jamal not just a talented boy, but someone with enormous potential. And he was ready to offer him the opportunity to transform his life. A few days after their meeting, Harrison couldn't stop thinking about Jamal. He saw in him rare potential, a curiosity and discipline that far surpassed those of many adults. He decided to invite him to his office to show him a little of his world. Jamal, though hesitant, accepted the invitation. He had grown up in a modest neighborhood, and the idea of entering the luxurious world of a millionaire seemed unreal. When he arrived in front of the imposing building, he felt his heart beat faster. The glass doors reflected the blue sky, and the click of his shoes echoed on the marble. Harrison greeted him with a warm smile. "Welcome, Jamal. I wanted to show you something." The office was spacious and bright, filled with architectural plans, models, and screens displaying financial and technological projects. Jamal stared open-mouthed at every detail. He had never seen so many objects related to knowledge and innovation. Is this your world?" he asked, amazed. Harrison smiled. "It's part of what I've built over the years. But what I want to show you is that no matter where you come from, with determination and curiosity, you can create something great." He showed Jamal community development projects, business plans, and educational initiatives. The boy listened intently, absorbing every word, every concept. Harrison noticed the way his eyes lit up with each new piece of information. "Jamal, I believe you have enormous potential. I want to help you learn, explore, and prepare for a bright future." The boy felt a surge of emotion. No one had ever said anything so powerful to him. For the first time, he realized that his courage and determination could actually attract the attention of someone capable of changing his life. As Jamal left the office that day, he knew something had begun. A unique opportunity had presented itself, and he was ready to seize every moment to transform his destiny. A few days after the office visit, Harrison invited Jamal back for a longer afternoon. He wanted to share stories and advice that could guide the boy into his future. Settled in a comfortable, elegantly decorated living room, Harrison began, "You know, Jamal, I too started with few resources. I made mistakes, and some almost cost me dearly." Jamal listened intently, captivated by every word. He had never heard anyone speak so frankly about their failures, nor display so much wisdom gained from them. Harrison continued, "When I was young, I thought everything depended on luck. But I realized that true power comes from learning, perseverance, and integrity. Every choice, every action counts." Jamal nodded. "I understand. You mean you can change your life by working hard and making good choices?" "Exactly," Harrison replied with a smile. "And the most important thing is to never lose sight of who you are and what you stand for. Success without honesty and respect for others is worthless." The boy felt these words resonate deeply within him. He remembered his own life, the times when he had helped his neighbors without expecting anything in return, and understood that this attitude was not only moral, but also a source of strength. Harrison continued, "Jamal, you've already shown that courage and dignity by helping with that tire. That's what sets you apart from others. With discipline, curiosity, and patience, you can go a long way." The boy, inspired and motivated, felt a new self-confidence grow within him. He understood that this simple afternoon was not just a lesson about material success, but about life itself, about how one could transform challenges into opportunities and encounters into destiny. As he left Harrison's house that day, Jamal knew that every decision he made from now on would have an impact. He was no longer just a street kid, he was a young man ready to learn, grow, and seize the opportunities that came his way. A few days after their life lesson, Harrison called Jamal back with an unexpected invitation. "Jamal, I want to show you something special." "Are you ready?" he asked. Jamal, intrigued and slightly nervous, nodded. He wasn't sure what to expect, but he had a feeling this meeting was going to be different. Harrison led him to a special wing of his office where there were several training rooms, state-of-the-art computers, and mock-ups of community projects. "Jamal, I run a foundation that supports young people like you," Harrison explained, showing off the facilities. "We offer internships, mentoring, and scholarships for young people who want to learn and develop their talents. I want you to be a part of this program." The boy's mouth fell open. Jamal had grown up helping neighbors for a few dollars, sometimes dreaming of better opportunities, but he never imagined he'd receive a chance like this. "Me, really?" he stammered. "Yes, really," Harrison replied with a smile. "I believe in your potential. With the right guidance and tools, you can accomplish great things." Jamal felt a surge of emotion. He thought about all the difficult times in his life, the streets of his neighborhood, the nights spent worrying about tomorrow. And now, a door he had never seen before was opening before him. "This program will give you access to mentors, workshops, real-life projects, and even scholarships for your studies. But most importantly, Jamal," Harrison added, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder, "is that you will have to work hard, stay humble, and learn every day. It will be a challenge, but I know you can do it." Jamal felt his heart beat faster. For the first time, he understood that his courage and honesty could truly open doors for him. He accepted without hesitation, determined to seize this unique opportunity. As he left the office that day, a mixture of pride, nervousness, and excitement filled him. He knew his life had just taken a decisive turn, and every choice he made from now on could shape his future. As Jamal began participating in Harrison's educational program and internships, he quickly realized that this unique opportunity attracted both admiration and skepticism. In his neighborhood, some residents looked at him with astonishment, even disbelief. "Why would a millionaire be interested in a kid like you?" some neighbors asked. Others murmured, "He'll probably get bored, he won't keep up." Jamal heard these comments, but he had learned to stay focused. He knew his opportunity was rare and he shouldn't waste it. With courage and humility, he sometimes explained to those who asked him questions, "I want to learn and prepare for my future. That's all." At school, some classmates were jealous or doubtful. Jamal, however, remained calm and polite. He wasn't trying to impress, but to show through his actions that he deserved his place. Soon, his performances in workshops and internships impressed even the most experienced mentors. Harrison watched from afar and saw the boy grow, not only in his skills, but also in his confidence and resilience. He knew that the real test was not just technical learning, but Jamal's ability to remain honest and focused in the face of criticism and skeptical looks. Over time, the murmurs turned to admiration. Residents began to recognize Jamal not only as a hardworking young man, but also as someone capable of seizing opportunities and transforming his life. What had begun as a simple act of kindness, changing a tire, was now transforming into a symbol of hope and determination. Jamal learned an important lesson: the gaze of others can be intimidating or skeptical, but it should never dictate our actions. Perseverance and dignity often open doors that the doubts of others cannot close. As the weeks passed, Jamal began to take full advantage of Harrison's program. Every morning, he arrived at the training center eager to learn and take on new challenges. He quickly distinguished himself by his ability to assimilate knowledge and apply it practically. In technology workshops, he demonstrated an exceptional ability to understand complex mechanisms. In group projects, he proved reliable and attentive, inspiring confidence in his mentors and classmates. Harrison watched this progress with pride. "Jamal, you're making progress quickly. Keep it up, but never forget to stay curious and humble," he told him one day after a particularly successful session. Soon, the first concrete results appeared. Jamal helped create a small community project, a mini initiative to help local children learn mechanics and technology. He guided the younger ones with patience and encouragement, sharing what he had learned. The residents, once skeptical, began to see him as an example of success and determination. Jamal's academic and practical successes boosted his confidence. He began to understand that his hard work, courage, and discipline could truly open doors. More importantly, he realized that every learning he had could be used to help others, just as Harrison had done with him. Through these successes, Jamal also learned a valuable lesson: talent and intelligence are not enough. It also takes hard work, perseverance, and a willingness to overcome obstacles. And when he saw the smiles of the children he mentored, he knew every effort was worth it. Thus, little by little, Jamal became not only an exemplary student, but also a budding leader, ready to transform his life and inspire those around him. Over time, the relationship between Jamal and Harrison grew beyond that of mentor and student. Every meeting, every discussion, and every shared project strengthened their bond. Harrison learned about Jamal's unique character, his determination, curiosity, and honesty, while Jamal discovered Harrison's wisdom, patience, and generosity. One afternoon, as they were reviewing plans for a new community project together, Harrison stopped and said, "Jamal, you remind me a little of myself at your age. I saw the world with many questions and few answers. But you're already capable of making decisions and thinking thoughtfully." Jamal smiled shyly. "Thank you, sir. I'm glad you think that of me." Harrison placed a hand on Jamal's shoulder, a rare gesture from a businessman accustomed to distance and seriousness. Jamal, in life, it's not just what you know, but also the people who believe in you. And I believe in you." This simple sentence resonated deeply in Jamal's heart. For the first time, he felt truly recognized for who he was, a boy with abilities and vision, not just a street kid. As the months passed, their friendship translated into concrete actions. Harrison involved Jamal in his philanthropic projects, giving him real responsibilities and a mentoring role for other young people. Jamal, for his part, brought a fresh perspective and innovative ideas, often surprising Harrison with his creativity and maturity. Their outings were no longer just professional. They also shared simple moments, chatting over coffee, walking in the city's parks, or simply laughing together. These moments strengthened trust and mutual respect, creating an unlikely but strong friendship between a millionaire and a boy who had grown up on the streets of the neighborhood. This relationship would become a cornerstone in Jamal's life. Through Harrison, he discovered not only a world of possibilities, but also what it meant to have someone by his side, believing in him and guiding him with patience and kindness. As the months passed, Jamal began to realize that his journey wasn't just about his own success. Every lesson he learned, every skill he acquired, could now be used to help others. Inspired by Harrison, he decided to create small initiatives for young people in his neighborhood, giving them opportunities similar to those he had received. He organized mechanics and technology workshops for the neighborhood children, patiently sharing what he had learned. The young people, fascinated, listened to his explanations and tried his techniques, discovering that they too could accomplish things they thought impossible. The locals, who had initially doubted him, began to change their outlook. Jamal was now seen as a model of perseverance, integrity, and success. Former skeptics found themselves admiring the courage and maturity of this boy who had managed to turn a simple encounter with a millionaire into a real-life opportunity. Harrison, proud of his protégé, continued to support him and involve him in his philanthropic projects. Together, they developed new initiatives to offer scholarships, mentoring, and internships to other talented young people. Jamal saw the tangible impact of his actions: children gaining self-confidence, families seeing their children grow, and a community beginning to believe in the future. Through these experiences, Jamal understood a fundamental truth: personal success takes on its full meaning when it is shared. He realized that his life could become an example, a message of hope for those who believed that their origins defined their destiny. So what began as a simple act of kindness, helping a millionaire with a flat tire, had spiraled into a chain of inspiration and transformation. Jamal was no longer just a neighborhood boy, he had become a force for change and an enduring symbol for his community. Years later, Jamal was no longer the street boy everyone knew. Thanks to Harrison's support, his own determination, and hard work, he had become a respected entrepreneur, known for his intelligence, creativity, and integrity. He now led several innovative projects in the city and continued to support his community, offering internships and scholarships to young people from disadvantaged backgrounds. Each initiative he launched bore the hallmarks of his journey, a blend of courage, resilience, and generosity. Harrison, always by his side, looked down with pride at the man Jamal had become. "Look at what you've accomplished, Jamal," he told him one day. "You've transformed not only your own life, but the lives of so many others." Jamal smiled, thinking back to the time he had simply helped a man with a flat tire. That small gesture had been the catalyst for a destiny he could never have imagined. He had learned that every decision, every effort, and every act of courage could create unexpected opportunities. But more than wealth or success, Jamal prided himself on staying true to himself. He knew his true fulfillment lay in his ability to inspire others, to provide opportunities for those who, like him, needed a helping hand to reach their potential. And so, from that simple flat tire, an extraordinary life was born. Jamal had changed his destiny, proven that dignity, courage, and perseverance could open any door, and shown the world that sometimes a small, selfless gesture can spark the greatest transformations.